For generations, our ancestors have told that the Choctaw people began when we rose up out of the earth. With every obstacle, every setback, and every hardship, we rise. Rising up is in our blood. It is how we grew into the tribe we are today. When we stand together through sickness and carry our weakest to higher ground, we rise. When we meet new challenges and conquer them with grace and dignity, we rise. In the 1830s, we rose when we established the first schools for our children. In 1960s, we rose again when we prevented our tribe from complete dissolution. And in 2020, we rose when the Choctaw Nation and the entire world was afflicted by a global pandemic. The Choctaws are no strangers to perseverance. We are a people of resilience, a people of endurance, a people of honor and strength who rise up to meet challenges. And tomorrow, we will continue to rise.
Last year, I remind you all that we are a people of miracles. And we have continued to prove it by taking care of each other through some of the toughest obstacles we've faced in a century.
Choctaw people make a positive impact on their communities every day through their hard work and determination. We still have challenges to face, but because of our Choctaw spirit, our communities remain strong and continue to grow through difficulties. One of the ways our people make a difference is through education. The Choctaw people have always valued education. In fact, Choctaws built the first schools in Indian Territory. Today, our higher education and career development programs support tribal members' efforts to learn new skills and be successful in a dynamic job market. This year, we increased the amount of funding for higher ed programs. We've also changed some of the eligibility requirements to make it even easier for tribal members to get help through scholarships, technology, and clothing allowances. We know people are happier, healthier, and more successful when their most basic needs are met. That's why the Choctaw Nation works so hard to lift our tribal members out of unsafe, substandard housing. Over this past year, we performed over 1,000 home repairs and installed hundreds of storm shelters. We've also built new housing units across the nation through LEAP homes, affordable rentals, and independent elder housing.
This is our independent elder housing, kind of in between Clara and Durant. Independent elder living is just that. Our elders get to stay independent. They can live their lives. They can come and go as they please. It's just a small community where they can feel safe and secure.
I've been here 14 years and I really love living here.
Most of our residents here only have Social Security, and here their rent is based off of their income, so they're only paying a small portion of what they would be paying in a commercial market. These people need to be independent, gives them a very strong sense of pride. This is just a way of showing them that respect, showing them that they're cared for and that they're important to us.
Gives them a home and a place of security, you know. And it doesn't cost like, oh, it is the most wonderful thing that could ever happen for the elderly, I think.
Everybody wants to do something to help their community and do something positive for someone else. And in this environment, you get to see that. And they really just become part of your family. Whenever they move in, they're mine. You know, they're not just my tenants, they're somebody that I care for.
You know, we didn't have that way back. We did not have nothing like this, and we've come a long ways. It's wonderful to stop and think about how far the Choctaws have come. Every year it's a little bit better. I'm just so thankful for everything.
While we support tribal members who will eventually join the workforce through training and education, we're also supporting the current workforce right here in southeastern Oklahoma. Over the past year, the job market has been unstable, to say the least. Some people have found they need training to do their jobs differently, while others lost jobs they've held for decades. This year, we have hired hundreds of associates across the Choctaw Reservation in programs and services, as well as commerce and gaming. We also have hundreds of positions available to anyone looking to elevate their career. Our children are precious, and they deserve to grow up in safe homes. Right now, our foster care program is searching for Choctaw families who can help shelter and care for children until they can be reunited with their family. The Choctaw Nation provides our foster families with a strong support system to ensure our kids' needs are met and they stay connected with our culture. I pray you will consider helping our children.
There are so many children that are in need. If we saw a child on the road and they needed help, we naturally go to that child. But these are children that we don't see. So it's the unseen, but they are there. There's a huge number of children that need help. If you look through the state of Oklahoma for the number of Choctaw children that are in custody, it's well over 400. We currently have 78 Choctaw children that are in the tribe's custody. The percentage of those that go home is much lower than we would like it to be, but I do feel like with the Choctaw Nation, we are developing and putting in place more preventive services and more services to get the kids back home. So I feel like they do have a better opportunity and more support and a better chance to be reunited. I'm so excited and proud that this past year, we certified 34 families that said, okay, we're up to the challenge. We're gonna help these little kids.
It's been a fantastic experience for all of us.
And for the kids too.
Especially our children, our biological children and Brooke. It's been fantastic. We love it.
We're gonna meet the need to ensure that child has what he or she needs and to ensure the family has what they need in that kind of support. Choctaw Nation, we're a family. And these are our kids, and it's a duty, it's an obligation, it's a right, and you'll never do anything that'll be more fulfilling.
My name is Jimmy Wyrick. I'm from Hugo, Oklahoma, 40 years old. Been an educator for, well, this is my 18th year in education. And that's my life's dream. I've known I've wanted to be a coach since I was in the 7th grade, which is kind of neat. Not everybody gets to live their dream. I've got 27 daughters in the dugout, and that's how I see them. When I told them, hey, I've got to miss some games, they thought, something's up, Coach. What's going on? You've got to tell us we're a family. You tell us we're family, and they had me there, you know. But when I delivered the news that I have cancer, I can't describe the raw emotion that I witnessed in 27 young ladies.
After that, we knew we were just gonna have to pray for him and play it out because he wasn't gonna let it get in his way, so we weren't gonna let it get in ours.
We didn't play for ourselves anymore. We started playing for Coach Wyrick. And so every win was for him, every play was for him, every point, every score was for him. And in the finals of the state tournament, we just fought and fought and fought. And we won. There were so many tears because it was for our coach, and he was headed to chemo the next day. Like, we were sending him to chemo, a state champion.
I know I'll never forget it, and it meant everything to him. He calls them his daughters. I mean, I look pretty good for having 30 daughters, just saying. But he really did, in that moment, have the highlight of his coaching career.
Those kids on that field, in that dugout, on that bus, are the best medicine for me right now. Outside of my family, they're the best source of normal in my life. They make me feel like me.
The well-being of our people is a top priority of the Choctaw Nation. And over the past year, we've increased our efforts to raise the quality of life, health, and wellness in our communities. Our clinics continue to provide excellent care throughout our reservation and even in bordering states. We also offer medical care, prescriptions, and wellness programs to our associates and their families through our employee health clinics. One of the programs I'm most proud of is our COVID-19 vaccination rollout. We partnered with municipal health authorities throughout the reservation to get our frontline workers and elders vaccinated first. This allowed us to protect those who care for our people and those who carry our culture. From there, we were able to vaccinate thousands of people in southeastern Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas.
One of the biggest challenges was to build the infrastructure to mass vaccinate. That wasn't in place before the pandemic. But with the help of our nursing staff, our medical staff, our pharmacy staff, registration, all departments, we were able to quickly build up that system to allow us to start vaccinating hundreds of patients a day. Since we received our vaccine from the Indian Health Service instead of the state, we were able to stay ahead of the curve and move faster than what the state was able to do.
The vaccine rollout has been successful as we continue to work towards increasing the vaccination rates and lowering our COVID numbers among not only our tribal members, but also the members of our communities. We do our best as healthcare providers to educate our community members on the safety and the necessity of this COVID vaccine.
The vaccine is very safe, very effective, and we want to make sure that we are able to vaccinate any individual that wants to receive the vaccine.
We are able to provide with our mobile caring unit those services to those who aren't able or easily able to come to a clinic or a facility. We now have 4 mobile units that we're able to provide assistance and immunizations. As of today, the Choctaw Nation has been able to administer over 38,000 doses to date. Choctaw Nation has proven that they are prepared and capable of handling a situation like this. I am so proud to be a part of the Choctaw Nation and their quick rollout of the COVID vaccines, their quick preparations, and their capabilities of providing such an important service to not only our tribal members, but all of our community members as a whole.
And it just demonstrates what the Choctaw Nation can do when we pull together.
Research has shown that Native Americans are at a high risk of developing diabetes. Our diabetes prevention and PACE programs are fighting that battle every day through education programs, awareness events, and cutting-edge technology. The good news is that we're making progress, but there's still work to be done. We also understand that people are struggling more than ever with mental and emotional health issues. The pandemic and other challenges this year have put extra stress on us all. And I want everyone to know that the Choctaw Nation is here to help you with a holistic approach to health.
COVID-19 has really presented some challenging times in regards to mental health for the communities, tribal members, but even regarding the mental health for our fellow staff members and associates. Physical, mental, and spiritual health to me make a person who they are. And if one of those is suffering, then the rest of them tend to suffer too. Depression, anxiety, isolation from not being able to be around loved ones. And so mental health is really important.
It's all about education and knowing how to live with diabetes and living a long time with it. But you know, we didn't know all this education that we do now. And so that's why we specialize in it, because we have those educators. We have that registered dietitian. We have the technology, and we can afford it because of our grant, and Choctaw Nation funds us.
So in here, when you come in, you get to see a dietitian, diabetic educator, myself or one of the other providers, so that we can then talk to you about the diagnosis, what to expect, what things we can do to help prevent complications, further information about life with diabetes, support systems. But most of what you should get is a fairly warm reception of folks genuinely interested in trying to make a difference in how you do with your disease state.
The PACE program promotes physical activity through walking and running, because we know with physical activity, we can reduce, chronic disease such as diabetes. One of the greatest things about the PACE program is you do develop a relationship with the community. We've had several families that has stated to me that they couldn't do this if it wasn't for the PACE program. They came together as a family, and now they're able to complete it as a family. A good pair of tennis shoes and you're on your way for a healthier lifestyle.
Kind of been empathetic. I feel like I can feel what other people feel, and so I've always wanted to project that love back. I realized that the best fit for me would be the medical field, because that encompassed everything that I was trying to go for. Very proud to be a member of the Choctaw Nation and the way that they do take care of their people.
I was in ICU, it was scary. I had a very bleak outlook. Amanda shows up, smiles, happy, how are you doing? It gave me hope that I would actually make it through, that I would live.
Well, I was nominated for this award by one of our patients' family members. Family remembered me and remembered the love that I gave their mom. And I found out that I had the honor of being chosen as the psych nurse and behavioral health nurse of the year.
Every day she would come in and she was like, I'm so happy that you're still here. She slowly would work with me. She would talk with me. She would make me laugh. Everything to get my lungs working. Had she not been there, had she not been that ray of sunshine, that ray of hope, I wouldn't be here. I know that for a fact. I feel it in my heart, I feel it in my soul. That woman saved my life, and I owe her everything.
Nursing is through the lifespan. We take care of everybody from a newborn baby all the way to death and dying, and you never know what you're gonna get, so you just gotta give all of yourself every day and try to make a difference.
Amanda embodies what being a nurse truly means. She is a ray of sunshine, man. She's an angel. She is absolutely, in every sense of the word, lovely.
The Choctaw people have always taken good care of themselves, their neighbors, and the land. I'm so proud of the progress we made this year in funding programs that will improve life for tribal members on and off the reservation. We've also supported our local communities through infrastructure projects, education programs, and law enforcement partnerships. I've always believed in supporting opportunities to make lives better, and that means making it easier to access programs that raise the quality of life for our people. Small businesses are the heart of our communities, and the Choctaw Nation is proud to support tribal members who dream of owning their own businesses. These folks work hard and put in long hours to bring their dreams to life. They inspire me in every day with their Tushka spirit. There's a saying that a rising tide lifts all ships, and when our small businesses are succeeding, it's good for everyone in the community.
Brenda and I were on a road trip and we stopped at a little hamburger joint in Bonham, and we liked the ambiance and everything, so we were talking about how cool it would be to open up a place like that here. Hugo was kind of lacking at the time for good places to eat, so we decided to just go for it. We knew this location was available, so I thought, that old gas station on Jackson Street would be a perfect location. She, I think, reluctantly agreed, but a year later, you know, we opened our doors and
here we are, 5 years later, still going strong. You know, it's a lot of work, but it's been very worth it.
we have 2 locations. Our second location is in Hochtown, Oklahoma. In November, it will be 2 years since we've opened. I have a passion for cooking, outdoor cooking. So I just kind of brought the outdoor cooking style indoors.
We try to have a burger of the month, alligator, camel, ostrich. People really like that kind of different things. We have salads, barbecue, burgers, we have tacos. It's something different for everybody to enjoy.
We're lucky to be able to have a business, a thriving business here, despite all the economic issues that are going on right now.
Through COVID, we went through a rough time. We were really scared that we weren't gonna have any customers or anything. And we had people just coming through the line just to give us money for our service so we can keep on going.
I feel like we can adapt to any adversity, and our employees have helped us along the way big time. We're very appreciative of the Choctaw Nation and how much they've been able to help us. I'm a very proud member of the Choctaw Nation. We're very determined people. I think that in our blood, you know, in Choctaw blood, we're just, whatever it may be, we're gonna fight to the end.
The thing I think that is so cool about us as children is we do what makes us happy. I never felt more alive when I was like creating, you know, a world or something, and I would like write these little stories. It made me feel really alive. As you become an adult, there were times that like writing was the only joy that I had when things were difficult. From modeling to acting to just life stuff, I didn't know who I was because I was trying to be everything that everybody else wanted me to be. So yeah, I packed my car and I drove to LA. I didn't give myself a plan B. I just was like, I have to make this work. The more I started like figuring out who I was as a person and what interests I had and what values I had, the more I started to connect with people who were in that same camp. That's when I learned you've got to have your own back, because nothing would happen until I took charge. I applied for a Disney Writing Fellowship. I pitched my own episode of The Conners that could in theory be on the show that they hadn't yet done. It really was like the biggest shot that I've had so far. But eventually I did get a meeting, and that meeting got me onto the show.
I was out there when she was picked to have the interview with them. We watched Conners and Roseanne forever, all weekend.
It takes courage to sort of, you know, be yourself and use your voice. I was able to hold on to creativity and writing or performance or whatever throughout the evolution of me as a human being, and then it turned into a profession because I just didn't stop.
We've scored some big wins for Choctaw sovereignty through the Supreme Court's McGirt decision
and the Sizemore case that followed, but our work is far from finished. We're facing some tough opposition to the Supreme Court's decision. The governor and attorney general have been very vocal about their efforts to have the decision reversed, but we must remain vigilant to ensure our ability to care for our people and govern ourselves is protected. Our Sovereignty for Strong Communities Commission worked hard over the past year to identify all the areas of Choctaw operations that are affected by the McGirt decision and work with community partners on jurisdictional issues. We also work to implement training for our law enforcement partners in communities throughout the reservation, which helps our community agencies understand jurisdictional issues. I am proud to work with our local, state, and federal law agencies to ensure the safety of everyone who lives in our jurisdiction.
Today's environment, it is rough being a police officer. The Choctaw Nation has stepped up and given us the training, the equipment, and everything we need to be able to do our job.
They're always there to back us up. And the manpower they have,
we utilize that quite a bit. So our partnership with the tribe is very valuable.
Just on any calls we might need them. Tribal members, they're always there for us to call. It's something hot call, we might not have an officer respond right away. Tribal is always there to help.
And that's part of the cooperation that we have with a lot of the departments and emergency responders is it doesn't matter if it's a tribal member or just somebody within the reservation, the majority of everybody works together.
It's a constant work in progress to figure out the logistics in serving a community that is growing and expanding.
We're out there trying to support the community and be there for the community in any of their needs, whether it's law enforcement related or not.
The Choctaw Nation is instrumental in helping all of the emergency responders, including the Durant Fire Department, and I think they're instrumental in going forward and getting their help to benefit our community to the best of our abilities.
Being in law enforcement, I was the only one in my family that wears a badge, and I'm proud of that. And being a full-blood Choctaw and seeing where the tribe's at now with the amount of officers they have, it really makes you proud.
In my 23-year career, I've probably not been treated better anywhere than I have with Choctaw Nation. They're always there, and like I said, it doesn't matter, just the equipment or the, they're there to support each other, and it's like a big family.
When our ancestors began interacting with European and American settlers, we learned to speak their languages in order to be successful in trade and government relations. Over time, fewer and fewer people spoke Choctaw fluently. Our children were even forbidden from speaking their native language in schools and in some Choctaw homes. Today, we're strengthening our language through the Anumpa Iacana School. Our language experts and fluent speakers teach the Choctaw language to students in communities and public schools across our reservation.
Even before the 70s, we were already starting to sort of lose the language because children were not speaking the language back to the parents. I believe around the early 1990s, Oklahoma in the education field passed into public schools that you could bring in a native language and teach it at its awareness level. And so that opened the door. In the beginning, when the language department first started, they probably had 3 teachers. I think they had 5 public high schools that they were teaching to. And now we teach to 42 public high schools across southeastern Oklahoma in our 10.5 Choctaw Nation counties. A Head Start, we started out at each center, 1 class, and now we're up to 22 classes every week with the little ones. Internet classes, I believe Lily Roberts is our instructor there, and she started out with 2 classes a day, and now she's teaching 8 levels of Choctaw language on the internet with students from around the world. We're pretty excited about the involvement that we get from learners. We've grown exponentially from that small beginnings in the late 1990s. Language is a direct link to our sovereignty as a tribal nation. It defines who we are. The language is a distinct marker which distinguishes us from other sovereign nations, and it just defines us in the way that all tribes have songs, dances, games, foods, but language is the thing that sets all of us apart from one another, which is so very important to who we are.
Tribal sovereignty isn't just about law enforcement, regulation, and court cases. It's about our culture. Some of our most important work is taking place in our brand new cultural center, where our past is preserved and our future is protected through art, food, and history. I can't wait for everyone to experience the Choctaw spirit and learn about our people.
Well, I think the Cultural Center is a big asset for our nation because it is a living, breathing facility to educate and to share our stories and our history with the public.
The opportunity to bring everybody here and share that story and make this a living cultural center is really, really exciting. People have been excited about everything they've seen.
I've really enjoyed the video exhibits where the handprint touch, and it just kind of goes through everything our tribe has been through. It's just really heartwarming.
I think it's really cool how all the sculptures look real live and how they did a good job with all the artwork.
We need to keep our heritage alive, because I tried to tell my children, and now I really have something I can say, okay, this is how it all started.
We stressed so many times that this is the people's cultural center and that it belongs to them. They are the stakeholders. They're the one that guided us and directed us as to what they wanted to see in the cultural center.
It makes me very proud to be Choctaw, so I really like it.
It is a dream come true. It is a vision that I think the Choctaw people will be very proud of.
As a tenacious tribe, we have endured and will continue to do so, and it's all because of you. Every tribal member who learns and speaks our language, every member of the Choctaw Proud waving our flag. Over the past year and a half, your continuous efforts have played a huge part in the Choctaw Nation of Oklahoma's continued rise. Every nurse, every doctor, every individual who stood along the front lines and helped protect us, Yako Ki. Every travel plaza cashier, every distribution worker, every associate who continued to rise against adversity each and every day, Yako Ki. Every parent, every student, every family who showed bravery in the face of hardship, Yako Ki. It is because of your tenacity, your determination, your spirit that we have come so far in rising above our challenges each and every time. For centuries, we have relied on the lessons and stories of our ancestors' courage to give us hope. I'm confident that 100 years from now, our tribe will rely on the lessons and stories of your courage to rise today. On behalf of them and all of our tribe, it is my privilege and honor to say, Yako Ki and Chapisala Chiki.
Thank you for all your years of service to the Choctaw Nation. As a tribal council member, director of Jones Academy, and your leadership on the Constitutional Committee, Yako Ki, Delton. And to my dad, Jack Austin Sr., thank you for your never-ending passion to help the Choctaw people, and most importantly, thank you for being my dad.
I've learned so much of our tribe, culture, language, ancestors, and other things.
I'm so thankful for the Choctaw Scholarship Program. I received the scholarship.
I am eternally grateful and proud to be Choctaw.
I feel so blessed to be Choctaw because they let me and my babies know that we are loved. And
my wife is Choctaw, and I give thanks to all that you've done to help us out throughout the years.
Thank you so much for all that you do and have.
Yako Ki for being a friend when I needed.
Yako Ki for taking care of my family when I was in the hospital.
Thank you for listening.
Yako Ki for always supporting me.
Yako Ki for helping me with the kids.
Thank you for just being there.
Thank you so much for all that you do and all that you have done.
Thanks, Mom.
Thank you, Dad.
Thank you for just being there when I needed somebody.
Yako Ki for the years of friendship.
Yako Ki for always supporting.
Yako Ki for being the friend when I needed one.
Yako Ki.
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 Yako Ki and Chapisala Chiki.